Awesome, awesome. Yo, guys, we're back. We made it. It's 3 o'clock. We're at Blue Ridge Winery, and guess what the mission is? It's always to add value to your life. Hi, guys. I'm Randy, and guess what? We have an audience today. I love an audience. I love it. Can I show you? Check it out. Check it out. So we got some people in the room over here. This is Mary and Mike, right? Julie's over here. Her lead's over here, right? See her say hi, right? Da-da-da, right? So, you know, I've been extra excited lately, guys. It's springtime. Summer's almost here. We're making the conversion from winter to summer. Wait till you see the place. It is going to be the best summer ever. You with me, Mary? Mary's with me. Mary, every morning, Mary goes, it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day. Mary says it all the time. I love it. So today, what we've done is I prepared something on communication for y'all. Because you know, I spent this past week down in Florida with John Maxwell, and John Maxwell is the master communicator of everywhere in the world, guys. Oh my gosh. And what's happening, Andrew Neff? I see you, man. I knew you were going to pop up. I was going to say it before you popped up, dude. I saw it. The guy got me, Andrew. Good to see you, man. Good to see you, dude. So I spent the week with John Maxwell, and then he just released a book. It's called The 16 Undeniable Laws of Communication. Yo, Ken, what's happening, man? I see you. Randy, I see you, Ken. Ken, I hope you got a lot going on. Yo, Ken's got a tour bus company called VIP Tours. And if you're looking for a tour bus and a fun tour guide, Ken's your guy, VIP. I love you, dude. Oh my God. It was a busy past weekend, wasn't it? Oh my gosh. This weekend, you see, Saturday's supposed to be 70 degrees. You see that? 70. It may be raining, but who cares? It'll be 70, right? So I love y'all. Thanks for the hearts. I love that. So here it is. John Maxwell's book. I highly recommend to download it, listen to it. It's called The 16 Undeniable Laws of Communication. He gave a summary of it the other day online. Tiff and I, we signed up for it. We want to learn to communicate better together. So you can learn, what you learn together, you can apply together. And it's great stuff. You know, Robin, I see you. Hey, I love it. So John Maxwell, he starts out by saying, Warren Buffett says that if you learn how to communicate, you will increase your net worth 50% more than any other skill you can learn. Isn't that great stuff? I love that, Cat. VIP Tours. I love it. Warren Buffett's saying this, guys. 50% more. And you know what? I agree 100%. Because my name is Randy. And it is my goal in my life to learn how to communicate better with the world around me. I know that I can never give away something I don't have. So I want to learn how to communicate with people. Because if you can't connect with someone, it doesn't matter how much knowledge you have in your head. Because if I can't get the right words coming out of my mouth at the right time, the knowledge is worthless. It's always the connection. It's the communication that matters the most. And growing up, guys, you all know I worked in Outdoor World. It was a straight commission sales job. Only if I connected with my customer would I actually have a sale. If I didn't, there was no sale. So every sales rep was exposed every weekend, whether they prepared their mind for the weekend. And if you're getting better, your paycheck reflected it. If you weren't, it reflected it. Simple as that, right? John did this 1-hour presentation on communication. He talked about the law of connection. And that's what we're talking about here. That's when I go, yo, Ken, what's happening, man? I want to connect with Ken. Because the very best communicators in the world, they don't get on stage and go, here I am. They go, there you are. They put themselves in the audience position. They say, what are you seeing? Mary's the master of this. I can tell you. You all know Mary, right? Mary serves wine here at the winery. Mary has the ability to see the world through her guests' eyes. And she can connect with them. And they feel it. And just like that, they're friends. She's not separating herself from the customer. She's not saying, I'm above you. She's saying, I'm with you. And just like that, friendships are formed. This is the biggest challenge in communication. Because a lot of times when we're communicating with people, we're not really actively listening. What we're doing is we're thinking about what we're going to say next. And we're self-conscious of ourselves. And we're not really listening to what they're saying. If you want to connect with someone, the first step is to simply get over yourself. Turn yourself off and think about this person. Who's talking to you? Who are they? What is their message? Why are they saying this to me? Makes sense, right? So great communicators, they forget themselves and it's all about the other person. It's all about the audience. I can tell you, whenever I write a presentation, what I'll do is I'll go to the stadium or wherever it's going to be and I'll sit in the chairs. And I sit there and I want to feel what the audience is going to feel. I want to be the audience. I don't want to be the guy on stage. Because if I can be the audience, we connect. And the first step of all communication is connection, isn't it? Ray, what's happening? Mary is great, right? Ray says you're great, right? Right? You know Ray, right? Ray Kresge. It's great stuff, right? Okay, so we just covered a lot of this stuff here. So by the way, you've heard me talk about, I got to talk about bids for emotional connection here. You've heard me talk about bids. The concept of the bid has changed my life, guys, because it's as if the lights were turned on inside of Randy. Before I learned what a bid was, I was dormant, I was dark. And sometimes I'd walk in the house and Tiff might say something to me and she was making a bid for emotional connection and I would completely miss it because I wasn't aware what a bid was. A bid is someone saying something to you that they want to acknowledge what they're saying. Bids are emotional connection. So a bid might be, if I hit my finger, I might go, man, I crushed my finger. Look how bad it is. I'm bidding for your attention to my finger. And you could go, oh, that's terrible, Randy. Oh my gosh, look at that. Well, you met my bid. You acknowledged the pain of my finger. Or you could go, get your finger away, Randy. You know, didn't mean my bid, right? Every single time in life that someone makes a bid to someone else and you acknowledge that bid for connection, it's like making a deposit in the relationship bank account. And relationships are made up of this simple bank account, acknowledging bids for emotional connection. Ladies, I say it all the time in the underground. I go, ladies, when you got ready to come here today, I bet you turned to your husband and said, how do I look? How do I look? And you just made a bid to him, please acknowledge me. I think I look beautiful. And he could go, oh my God, you're gorgeous. And he just acknowledged your bid for connection and made a deposit in the relationship bank account. He's communicating very well, right? Or he could go, come on, hurry up, let's get in the car, we're running late. And just like that, he turned away from your bid for connection and did a withdrawal from the relationship bank account. And eventually, if that happens enough times, there's nothing left to withdraw and the relationship is now bankrupt. It is so unbelievably simple. So when communicating with your significant other, the key is to always be tuned in for these emotional bids for connection. They can be a glance, they can be a smile, they can be a text message, they can be me walking in the house and Tiff saying, doesn't the floor look clean, Randy? Careful, right? There's a bid, right? I love the hearts. You're with me on this, right? And guys, this has changed my life. We make hundreds of these all day long. In fact, right now, Herlene's making one. She's nodding her head at me. I'm saying something and she's acknowledging it. She's going, I'm with you, Randy. I'm with you, right? I'm right. Jillian just did one. I'm with you. They're smiling at me. Mary's smiling, right? Mike's smiling. These are bids for connection. And how many times are people completely unaware of how they're communicating to the world around them? This has happened to me a lot of times, guys. I'm in the underground. I'm doing a presentation and I'll have someone sitting in the audience and they're sitting there like this the whole time. Just the most stern, the most like, I am not having it. I've learned though, to just pour myself into that person. Because a lot of times when that person's sitting there and they're just like this the whole time, I can almost guarantee you, that person's gonna get up at the end of the underground and they're gonna come to me and they're gonna go, you changed my life. You have no idea. They go, everything you said, oh my gosh, like I now have a new perspective on my life. And I always wanna say to them, I go, you should have a consistent message in your communication because you may have been thinking this is spectacular, but your face was saying, I hate this. The best way to communicate in this world is to have one single message going to the people you're communicating with. So if we're thinking it, we're expressing it, we're saying it, our voice inflection, our hand gestures. If you're excited, be excited. If you're excited, don't go, yeah, I'm pretty excited. But there's a lot of people like this, right? They haven't realized that communication, everything counts. Everything counts in communication. Nothing doesn't count. And I say in the underground, I go, imagine this. Imagine if Maggie were to say to me, hey, Dad, do you love me? And imagine if I said to her, yeah, I love you. She would go, you didn't really say it, did you? I go, no. Because the answer is, I love you so much. So in communication, everything counts. And the best messages are consistent. What you're saying is what's reflecting, is what's being acted out all at the same time. You with me on this? Herlene's with me, right? Great stuff, right? So remember, these bids for emotional connection, you can read Dr. Gottman on this stuff. It's really, really good stuff. There's a rule in communication that says everything counts. And I think we all know this. Everything counts. Have you ever talked about someone, they go, yeah, they're just kind of like a lump on a log. It's just how they are. I don't think they're happy like that. If someone has poor communication skills and they cannot project themselves to the world for what they feel, they're a very frustrated individual. You know how I know this? I'm raising a little boy right now. His name is Joseph. I love Joseph so much. Mama, we love that little baby. Joseph boy is 5 years old. And because Maggie has always spoken for him, he has a hard time communicating with the world around him. Basically, sometimes he's projecting one thing, but he's saying in other words. And this is because his big sister has always talked for him, right? And I can tell you, Joseph struggles with a consistent message. The words he wants to come out, he can't get them to come out. And it turns into frustration. The best way to communicate is crystal clear. One message. When you're excited, be excited. And be fully aware of the facial expressions happening on your face. A lot of people aren't aware of that stuff, right? It's very easy to say things without saying a word. Without saying a word, right? The masters of communicators have found a way to be fully aware of their facial expressions, their body language, their words, and the way they're being perceived. And yet, at the exact same moment in time, they have completely forgot about themselves, and they're completely focused on the person they're communicating with. I don't know if you can teach that. That's something that you just got to slowly acquire over time, of self-awareness of the room and what's going on. And when in communication, everything counts. I use the example sometimes saying, here's how we know everything counts. If you're in a room with a busy room and it's just packed with people and there was a couple in the corner and they were fighting with each other, even if they weren't screaming and yelling, the whole room would feel it, wouldn't you? How many times, right? Yeah. Everything counts. We feel each other. And even if you're not communicating with the person you're communicating to, that's the primary communication happening. But guess what? You're communicating to everyone else in the room. Isn't it true? Because I may be talking to you all right here, but guess what? I'm talking to Herlene, right? I'm talking to Jillian, I'm talking to Mary. In fact, I'm talking to people that aren't even watching it. They're going to see it in an hour from now. And I can tell you this, who you are speaks louder than any words you'll ever speak. Isn't it true? When you're communicating exactly who you are as an individual, now your message is extremely powerful. There's a saying in communication that says, I'm sorry, what you're saying, I can't hear a word that you're saying. Because who you are is screaming so loud at me, I just can't hear any of it. Isn't it true? It's who we are that speaks the loudest of the words to the world rather than the words we are saying. John Maxwell's got it going on, doesn't he? He talked about the law of anticipation. I love this law. I try to use this law every chance I get. The law of anticipation, it builds anticipation with whoever you're talking to. I do it with my kids all the time, guys. If the kids come home from school, I'll say to them, I go, I have something so exciting to tell you. And I'll go, shh. I go, don't tell mom. I'm building anticipation. And then Joseph, he's like, you know, right? And you can see Natalie, she's about to explode, you know, and Maggie's like, just shh. And you ever notice that when you're communicating, everyone becomes a mirror around you? If you do this, they'll do that. If I cross my arms, you'll cross your arms. If I put my hand on my hip, they'll put their hand on their hip. The world will want to mirror you. And the goal is to be aware of what you're mirroring, what you're projecting, so that you're not creating a mirror that isn't fun to look at. So, right? Makes sense, right? So the law of anticipation, the mindset of anticipation, it goes like this. How you view things is how you'll do things. And this is why anticipation matters so much. Because if I'm excited for what I'm about to say, guess what will happen? You'll become excited for it too. This is why if you're ever going to talk to someone and say, oh my gosh, I have something so exciting to tell you. I can't wait to tell you. They go, oh my God, tell me, come on, tell me. I can't wait, right? You can build anticipation. And what you're doing is you're putting an exclamation point at the end of about what you're about to say, right? Good stuff. By the way, one of the most important, powerful elements in communication is the timing of silence. Mark Twain has a quote on this. He says, how you do keep your audience with you? He says, the pause. Mark Twain says, no word was ever as effective as a rightfully placed pause. Right? It's so powerful. The pause matters everything. Because the pause gets your audience or gets the person you're talking to, it gives them time to catch up with you. Because what you're saying is in your mind. It's crystal clear to you, but it's not to them. And I can tell you, my name is Randy. I talk too fast. Everyone knows. Mary laughed, right? Mary says, I talk too fast too, right? That old ancient Chinese saying, know yourself. You can't improve on something you don't understand. My name is Randy. I'm trying to slow down, okay? I really am. But I can tell you this, though. The pause has added so much value to my communication skills. And I can tell you that one of the most powerful, Heather goes, silence is golden. I am so with you, right? Oh my gosh. You know, silence is golden. In the underground experience, I paint out this vivid picture of, you know, being the 8-year-old, and the 8-year-olds have no idea how to lose hope, and so on. And it's all painted out there. And at the very end of this thing, I go, and you know what the key to life really is? And I've learned to pause there for a full 4 seconds, which feels like eternity when there's 50 people in the room. But the answer is to stay the 8-year-old. And I've learned it's the pause that makes that sentence just amplify. Without that pause, it would just come and go, and they would never even see it, because their mind's not where I'm at, because I'm the one saying the words, right? When it comes to silence, it can be a powerful, powerful element. But it's also powerful in the negative direction. Tiff and I have had this conversation already. I go, promise me this, throughout our marriage, don't ever put me in solitary confinement. She goes, what do you mean? I go, don't ever just be silent to me. Because that is the worst punishment that anyone could ever be put in. If someone's in prison and they're thinking, what is the worst thing we can do to this person? Guess where they go? Solitary confinement. And I say it to my mom and I go, let's never do this to each other. Don't ever shut down to me. Don't ever go, I'm not talking to you. Because that is the worst thing you could ever do to someone. Silence is so powerful in the positive and the negative, right? John Maxwell's got it going on, right? Yeah, and that's about all I got. It is. Last one he talks about, he talks about how pausing allows people to hear the whispers. And the biggest message I would like you to get from this is that when it comes to communication, everything counts. And you're never not communicating. You're always communicating at every second of your life, all the time. There's never a time that you're not communicating. If you walk into a room and you stand in the corner and you are completely silent and you stand there long enough, someone's going to walk up to you and they're going to go, what are you doing? You are communicating, right? All the time. Every time. And in communication, you are either building up or you're tearing down. I tell my kids, you're never coasting. It's never level. Your words are building, you're building value, you're building people up, and you're building yourself up, or you're tearing down. There is no middle ground on this stuff. Natalie understands this perfectly. Natalie, the last night we did this little exercise. I go, Joseph boy, do you want to do something fun? Anticipation? Yeah. Right? He's going, what is it, Dad? I go, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. He's like, oh my gosh. He's about to pop that. He has no idea. I go, here, sit in this chair. Come over, sit in this chair right here. Sit down. He's sitting in the chair. He's all wiggling like a worm. I go, okay. Really? Do you hear me? Real quiet, guys. And he goes, he's going like this with me. And I go, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to go around the room. Mom's going to start first, and then Maggie, then me, then Natalie. And what we're going to do is we're going to say the single thing that we love most about Joseph Boy. Because, oh my God, there's so many things. And he's just like, it's like just beaming, right? So we go, okay, are you ready? Are you ready, guys? Okay, don't. Mom, go. She goes, I love you because you're my only son. And you're so spectacular. And I love your heart. And I love that you're so kind and caring and giving. I go, okay, that's it. Time's up. Beep. Time's up. Got to keep the game going, right? Communication here, right? Then we go to Maggie. It's like, I love you because, lots of reasons. Go to Natalie. When it was Natalie's term, she goes, I love you because you're so nice. You're so wonderful. And Dad, you're so nice and you're so wonderful. And Mom, so are you. And Maggie, you're so wonderful. And then she goes, and I'm so wonderful. Here's a 3-year-old perfectly understanding that you can never give away something you don't have. That's right. And she saw it in herself in that moment. You're wonderful, but guess what? I can see that because I am too. God, the lessons we can learn from a 3-year-old. I love y'all. Thanks for being here today, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's talk. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. You all make life possible. Join us on Saturday. It's going to be rainy and 70. Maybe, right? Mary's excited. I love y'all. Bye, guys. See you soon. I'm going to go back to keep writing my book. Bye, y'all. I love the hearts. Thanks for that. Bye, guys.